My name is Leah Kraus, and I'm a graduate student at Morningside University, and I teach first grade at Edward White Elementary. My title is Effects of Homework Completion on Math Achievement in First Grade Students. Student achievement is a growing concern in the United States, especially when comparing U.S. scores to those of other developed nations. In 2015, Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study placed fourth grade students in 11th place in comparison to other countries around the world. Students in ninth grade ranked even lower at 37th place. According to the nation's report card in 2015, only 40% of fourth grade students, 33% of 8th grade students, and 25% of 12th grade students in the United States were at or above proficient in mathematics. Many believe that it is important for students to achieve proficiency in early elementary so that they do not continue to fall further behind. When this happens, students are less likely to be prepared for junior high, high school, or college. Some may even drop out. Those who do not graduate college can expect a mean earning of $20,000 per year. Students who do attend college without meeting math benchmarks may have to spend extra time and money on remedial courses, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. I chose to research the effectiveness of homework for reducing the achievement gap and boosting math achievement. As a first grade teacher, I understand the importance of providing support to struggling students. If homework helps increase achievement, other teachers may benefit from using it in their classrooms as well. Past research on the relationship between homework completion and student achievement have shown positive connections across the globe. One study conducted in Hong Kong with 8th grade students and 2 conducted in Spain with middle school students all found that longer amounts of time spent on homework produced significantly better scores on math assessments. Undergraduate engineering students in California produced similar results. Researchers found the number of problems attempted had the strongest correlation to course grade. When homework is provided, parental involvement can also affect student achievement in a variety of ways. In one study, an intervention for parents was provided called Teachers Involve Parents in Schoolwork. For 1 year, they were provided tips and communication with educators. Results of the intervention indicated significant positive effects on standardized test scores compared to the control group. A similar program called Math and Parent Partners provided parents with additional content knowledge. Aside from building relationships between parents and students, student performance improved as well. 2 studies, one in Spain and the other in Greece, reported that positive support from parents on homework helped students succeed academically. When parents assisted only when needed, helped in time management, and provided autonomous support, students did better than when parents were over-involved, controlling, or used punishment or pressure. In those cases, achievement decreased. Indirectly, students may benefit from the responsibility of completing homework, even if it's not directly related to grades. Indirect benefits of homework completion include the development of good work habits, self-control, and willingness to delay gratification. Researchers also believe that students deepen their understanding of content covered in the classroom, were able to work in a self-paced manner, learn to work independently, manage time, and improve responsibility. Many studies have also reported a negative connection between homework and achievement. In one study, test scores from over 95,000 third grade students and 91,000 sixth grade students from 16 Latin American countries were studied in regard to their homework practices. The results showed that frequency and time spent on homework did not significantly affect academic achievement unless teachers reviewed homework as a class. Likewise, a study in Canada used a multiple regression analysis on students in the private school system. Of the over 2,000 students, 27,000 students, approximately 15 years in age, researchers found a negative impact of time spent doing homework on achievement. Similarly, a meta-analysis that included international data, primary through university levels, reported that 64% of the studies found positive effects of homework on achievement. 36% of the studies from the meta-analysis showed little to no effects at all. After studying the data available, the gap that was found was in the age of the participants, most focused on 5th grade and higher, with many in the junior high and high school levels. Almost no information is available for primary grades. When laying the foundation for later years, it's important to know how best to help students succeed immediately as they enter school. The information processing model helps to explain how stimuli such as mathematic information can be collected effectively and moved into long-term memory or forgotten. Success in mathematics requires a solid foundation of mathematical concepts and begins immediately as students enter grade school. Meaningful information such as this is found in long-term memory storage. Later on, it can be retrieved when triggered by sensory stimuli in order to solve more difficult mathematic problems. Quick retrieval of basic math concepts is beneficial throughout one's education and potentially one's profession. Using homework in the classroom may help move information into long-term memory storage more quickly. The purpose of this study was to investigate the relationship between daily math homework completion and math achievement in first grade students. The independent variable was daily math homework, and the design of the study was an A-B design utilizing 3 Ames-Webb math computation tests to determine any effects the homework intervention may have had on achievement. The dependent variable was student performance on those tests. The researcher hypothesized that first grade students who received and turned in daily homework would increase their scores on the Ames-Webb math probe. The results of this study could impact future homework policy in individual classrooms or entire districts. This study took place in a rural elementary school in eastern Iowa and took place in a first grade classroom. The participants included 13 girls, 10 boys, and 3 students with IEPs. Of the 23 students, 2 identified as African American, 1 as South American, and 20 as white. 4 students received free or reduced lunch. The McGraw-Hill Everyday Mathematics curriculum for first grade was used during the study and included materials such as workbooks, math games, manipulatives, tools, and homework pages. The measure used in the study was the Ames-Webb Math Computation Probe Grade 1. According to the Ames-Webb Efficacy Research Report, a dozen studies were conducted between 2000 and 2012. Results of these studies indicated that the assessment is strong in how accurately it measures achievement in mathematics computation. An A-B design was used in the study, and 2 within-group paired samples t-tests were used, first to compare math achievement between baseline data and control phase data, and again to compare the control phase data with treatment phase data. It was predicted that the achievement scores of first grade students would increase following the treatment phase when homework took place. The first step in the study was to collect baseline data on student math computation ability. Prior to the control phase, students received the first of 3 Ames-Webb probes. This also occurred prior to starting the everyday math curriculum. For this probe, students were given 8 minutes to complete up to 28 questions of addition, subtraction, and greater than less than problems. For the following 6 weeks, students participated in the control phase. At this time, all students received the math curriculum, and homework sheets were not provided. Upon completion of the control phase, students again received the math computation probe. Then the treatment phase took place during the second 6-week period immediately following the second probe. Students continued with the projected path of study in the curriculum, and during the treatment phase, homework worksheets were sent home following each lesson. Each home link consisted of a short explanation of the material along with 1 to 5 practice problems and some review. Upon completion of the treatment phase lasting 6 weeks, students again received the Ames-Webb Math Computation Probe. 1 paired sample t-test was used to compare baseline test scores with control phase scores, and another was used to compare control phase scores with treatment phase scores. An alpha level of 0.05 was set when running the t-tests. The hypothesis was not supported due to the findings that show increased achievement after both control and treatment phase. On average, student scores increased by 8 points between the baseline assessment and the assessment following the control phase, as you can see in the chart above. The t-test indicated a significant difference between the scores taken following the baseline and the control phase. The scores following the treatment phase averaged 7 points higher than those following the control phase. The t-test between the control and treatment phases showed a statistically significant difference between the control and treatment scores. The hypothesis of this study was that math achievement in first grade students would increase when homework was utilized. The results do not confirm the hypothesis. Student achievement increased by a significant amount both during the control phase and in the treatment phase. Findings are not able to determine whether homework is effective for increasing achievement in first grade students, but they do not indicate negative results. 2 methods for effectively moving information into long-term memory are through repeated exposure and spaced practice. If high-quality exposure to a math concept can be repeated at least 3 separate activities, information can be retrieved up to 8 months later, according to researchers. They also believe that small amounts of homework following each lesson are effective at providing this spaced and repeated practice. In the present study, math achievement may have increased due to the successful movement of information through the information processing model through daily homework. Past research has found evidence to suggest that homework can effectively increase student achievement in math. Researchers found that students in Hong Kong and Spain were able to increase math performance after completing homework. The findings of the current study are also supported by research, which found that involving parents is an additional benefit to the process of homework. Third and fourth grade math students who were involved in the teachers, involved parents, and schoolwork were able to increase their achievement on standardized tests more positively than their control group. When parents were appropriately involved, academic success was found to be positively related. Homework assignments in the current study included a summary of content and processes learned in order to support positive adult-child interaction. Homework completion can also improve student work habits and responsibility. Past research indicates that students who complete homework develop good work habits. Students in the current study showed responsibility in their eagerness to complete homework correctly, on time, and turn it in even if it was late. Unfortunately, like the international meta-analysis, this study could not confidently state that homework produced positive increases on student achievement. Many schools are cutting back on homework or adopting no homework policies. Due to the results of this study, it's still unclear whether homework is a good option for increasing student achievement. Students may be equipped with a stronger foundation when provided homework. In addition, homework may result in an increased ability to gain the knowledge needed for upper elementary math, which could reduce dropout rates, close the proficiency gap, and help students become college and career ready. Homework completion may also improve student work habits and responsibility, increasing the likelihood of success in a variety of areas. However, more research will need to occur to be certain of its effects. Limitations of the study may have affected the final results. First, not all students returned homework to prove its completion. This could mean that some students still completed the homework but did not return it, or they never practiced the targeted math skills at all. A second limitation includes the natural maturation of students as they progress through curriculum. The students in this study learned many things about basic addition and subtraction. Therefore, it was highly likely that test scores would increase. Third, the amount of time students spent on homework completion. For this study, the amount of time spent was not tracked. This means that some students may not have completed it thoughtfully, and others may have spent too much time. Limitations could also be related to the assessment. The Aimsweb probe was administered 3 times throughout the study, each time whole group. Students sat in small groups and used test folders to prevent cheating. Test folders cannot ensure complete privacy, and therefore the test scores cannot be completely reliable. In addition, low baseline scores could be due to unfamiliarity and fatigue. The baseline test was administered within the first few weeks of the school year, and at the first grade level, many students were not familiar with common math symbols, and they're not used to seeing number models presented vertically or with more than 2 numbers. Therefore, low baseline scores may be due to confusion and unfamiliarity with these symbols and models. Because the baseline test was taken during the first weeks of school, students may have also experienced fatigue, stress, or anxiety, which could have resulted in reduced test scores. Further research is needed in order to determine whether student achievement is directly related to homework completion or can be attributed to scheduled learning through daily lessons. It would be ideal for research to focus on lower elementary grades. Future researchers may benefit from stricter guidelines that ensure all homework is returned. They may also benefit from determining an appropriate amount of time to spend doing homework in order to ensure quality practice that does not produce burnout. Future testing practices may be altered and aim for total privacy by testing students individually or testing in conditions that don't allow a possibility for cheating. In addition, research could begin later in the year after introduction to basic addition and subtraction sentences have taken place. The findings of this study could not confirm the hypothesis in order to determine if homework is an effective method for increasing student achievement in math. Further research is recommended. In the meantime, educators must determine what's best for their districts and their students. If homework is used in the classroom, it should be provided for practice and review and never to teach new concepts. Communication between school and parents should be utilized so family members understand the content and appropriate ways to support their children. Educators should also stay current with research being conducted so that they can make the most informed decisions for their students.